Fighting was always something I was interested in. Football was what I wanted to do. Football was my first dreams. I always dreamt of playing. I always used to go out on my own. I was like 7, 8 years old and put on my football boots and run up and down kicking the ball, dreaming of playing in front of a big stadium. I don't care nothing about fighting. Okay? I don't care about fighting. The gold belt is what I want. The 2 gold belts. I was a 2-weight world champion in the previous organisation. Now I'm on the big stage at the UFC. I want that featherweight belt and I want that lightweight belt. That's my goal. The money is going to come with that. John showed us a different approach to combat sport, a different way of thinking, the professional way. You know, even though we're in a little small shack in a little hut, there was a professional approach to unarmed combat, and he introduced me to jiu-jitsu, which changed my whole approach and made me look at the finer details of combat. I started seeing the UFC on TV, and we just, every day in school, we talk about it. He'd show me some jiu-jitsu stuff, and we'd mess fighting in the class. I'd be showing him some boxing, he'd show me some submission moves. He'd teach me how to grapple, he'd teach me some techniques, and I'd teach him some techniques. And basically fight at the end of it. 2 little 16-year-old kids out the back of his shed, the concrete floor, and basically punch the head off each other, really. And then that was that, you know, that was my first obsession with it, you know, and I thought, like, I still didn't think I could do it. I was hooked. When I knew he had shows, I knew it was there. I knew I could get that ladder. You know, I knew I had something. I had a fascination with it, and even if it didn't, I still couldn't shut it off. So I just rolled with it, kept showing up every day. Got my ass whooped a couple of times, whooped a couple of asses. Eventually, I became really good. As you're growing up and you're walking around, I used to live in a little estate, and when you explore outside that estate, you start meeting new people, and then fights would happen. Boys, you know what I mean? Young boys would fight. But it just stuck in my head a little bit more. And something like that happened. It was always in my head. I'd go back and think about it. I think about what happened, what position happened, and just think about things. As soon as I finished school, I was always getting pestered. What are you doing with your life? Are you doing this, doing that? They didn't know what it was. They didn't know what MMA was. They didn't know what none of this. They didn't know I could make a career out of it. As far as they were concerned, man, I knew what was going to happen. I knew I was going to get here. They didn't. There was a lot of stressful years. You know what I mean? A lot of tough times. But I proved them wrong. I proved myself right. It's in my head 24/7. There's nothing else I can think. I don't think about nothing else. And that's it. I'm just curiously fascinated with it, and I can't stop thinking about it. Everything I do in my life is related to this. I don't do nothing else if it's not got to do with fighting. To me, what's unhealthy is living an unhealthy life. To me, what's unhealthy is getting up and going through the same day every day of your life, 9 to 5 in an office or in a... Remember that's unhealthy. That beats your mind. I don't work. I love what I do, and that's why I'm doing what I love. I know that in order to be successful at this game, it needs to be 24/7. I need to be living in this gym. And there's 2 things I've learned from these past 7 months. Number 1 is that hard work pays off, and number 2 is that dreams come true, and that's what's happening. It's been crazy. The spotlight is on. The Irish public are watching, but it's what we planned. It's what we prepared. I knew I was going to be the person to bring martial arts to the public eye. And now it's happening. Well, I moved from Crumlin when I was 16, 17, and I was doing it. I was still playing football at that time. I was doing MMA, I was doing boxing, I was doing this and doing that. But then I met a guy when I moved up to Lucan from Crumlin who was doing jiu-jitsu. Tom Egan, his name was. And I was doing some boxing at the time, some kickboxing.
I was asking you on Thursday about his right hand. Yeah. Can I tell you what you told me?
I said his right hand would get him into trouble. It's the shot I predicted. I said he'd overload on his right hand. I said I'd slip. I said I'd bang the left hook. And that's what happened. A lot of times people believe in certain things, but they keep to themselves. They don't put it out there. If you truly believe in it, if you become vocal with it, you are creating that law of attraction, and it will become reality.
Word for word, you said, I felt when we stared down, I felt his right hand was twitching, which was a subtle tell for me. He is ready to unload that right hand, and I feel that could be a downfall for him. If he lets that right hand go, I will not be there. I simply enter the way I enter, and that is enough. How do you do that? How do you predict these
if
things?
you can see it here, and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen. So I see these shots, I see these sequences, and I don't shy away from them. And I've always been learning and trying to implement different forms of movement and variety into my game. I've always been fascinated by movement, and I always look at people that can move in unusual ways and have complete control of their frame. I don't see them as people that just have control of their body and control of their frame. but they have control of their mind. It's about entering the contest fresh, your body's supple and free. Fight week is not about, it's already a stressful week, it's already a lot of struggle in fight week, but you must make it as least amount of that as possible. When I woke up today, I didn't wake up and my brain wasn't telling me that my foot is sore or something. You know, that's what a lot of times happens to these fighters. They come in and say, when they wake up on the day of the fight and their brain is instantly telling them about their elbow or about their knee or about their ankle or something's wrong with them. I would not have achieved the heights that I achieved without the love for the sport, and it's hard to just let that go no matter what number is in the account. So I'm here for the love of competition, and I have a hell of an He has phenomenal records also. I look forward to taking them or getting a hold of them. Every day is a learning experience in this world. I continue to approach life with a beginner mind, and that allows me to continue to rise. I felt like I was always competing for the belt. Like I said, two-weight world champion I came into this promotion as. So in my mind I was defending my belt on the debut and every other fight. So it's nice, you know, they called it a fake belt, the interim toy belt, clown, joker. I tell you one thing that won't be happening. If I go up to that lightweight division, there's no way in hell that I'm vacating my belt. That's not happening. There'll be a belt on one shoulder and a belt on the other shoulder. Many fighters don't fight as frequently as I do. Tell me how many fights I've had in the past year. You know what I mean? I'm busy. I stay active. I'm fresh. So when I go up to the lightweight for that lightweight belt and take that lightweight belt, I will still be the featherweight champion also. I wanted to stay on the stage. I smiled and I just took it all in and just looked. I took an extra second. The same out there, I just looked down and said, this is my home. I feel at home here. We are making this sport what it is today, and to be giving my countrymen and women these occasions that they'll remember forever, and the fact that they're doing us proud out here, and the whole world, the eyes are on the Irish right now. The whole world is looking at our country, so I'm very, very proud of that, and I'm very, very grateful. Winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners, and that's what their whole camp have been doing this whole time. They've been focusing on me. And what I've been doing, and what I've been saying, but I've also been focusing on me, and what I've been doing, and what I've been saying. That's what winners do. Winners focus on what they can control. You keep getting asked, did you learn anything from Ronda, or did you learn anything from other people? But although I learned from watching the contest and the technical aspect of it, I focus on me and what I'm doing. Every other champion gets a belt and they don't want to go up, or they don't want to go down. I'm going straight up. So I'm bringing these big numbers, and the sky's the limit. We win or we learn. So we will learn, we will head back to the gym, we will enjoy every sequence that happened over the course of this weekend, and learn and grow from that, and add to it, and implement these lessons in our game.